Today we're making a sword for Taylor Swift. I don't know her personally, so it's not really for her. It's just based off of her Folklore album. I saw a bunch of these really cool illustrated swords on Twitter by Alec Vernon. They're all based on Taylor Swift's albums, and I thought they were really cool. So I messaged him and I was like, can I make one and put it on YouTube? And they said, yeah. And I said, thank you so much. So let's get into actually making it. Thanks. I streamed the first part of this on Twitch, so the audio sounds a little bit trash, but it gets better later, don't worry. This is the size of the sword. We're just gonna cut this sword out. So now we have this piece. Yay! So step 2, we're gonna cut this to size using this. Oh no. We got it. This is our handle. It's not a hilt. The hilt is, no, that's a crossguard. Is this a hilt? This is the hilt. I've read enough Star Wars fan fiction to know that. So I'm gonna trace this onto this foam board, and then we're gonna cut it out. And we have the sword base. So this side is a lot thicker than this side, so I'm hoping when I cut the back down it fixes that. I've carved it a bit more. The sides look more even. I have to carve the top now. Wow. It has cuts. It's not this is not symmetrical. It's fine. We'll live. Now we're gonna cut out this middle section to add the detail to this sword. I used that paper cutout to trace onto some thin EVA foam, which I then also cut out so that we can glue it onto our sword. And I learned you can't use contact cement with XPS foam because it melts it with chemical magic, so I used rubber cement, and it worked so much better! It's not 100% even, but this is like on there. I love rubber cement. What the hell? Why didn't I use this before? Ooh. Ah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have this, and we have these little pieces connected to it, and we have its little butt plug. We need the thing that goes here to make it a cross, to repent our sins. My plan is to draw the general shape of the cross guard onto this and then cut out multiple layers of this foam and glue them together so I can just carve them out, because they're a natural looking sort of wood, so I don't think my lack of skill with carving will be a detriment to how it looks. And I'm really hoping this looks good because I want it to, because I kind of fucked up this part, so we're gonna see. And none of you better come at me for the fact that I'm cutting towards myself in a lot of these clips. Listen, if you're skilled with a knife, yes, you probably shouldn't cut towards yourself still, but it's how you like carve wood, so it worked, and I didn't hurt myself. Now we gotta permabond the sword's butt plug handle into it, and I'm just using hot glue for this because it's basic, it's easy, and honestly, it is the best for any sort of attachment point you're not gonna see, because yes, hot glue is messy, but who cares? Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm very happy with this sword. Look at it! Okay, it's not done, obviously, but we just have to like glue these on somehow, and then like the base sort of shape is almost done. I'm trying to figure out where these go, because I thought they attached like here, but that's way too far down, so I think they attach here, but I can't tell if that looks wonky or not, so we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna attach these right here and just hope it looks good. They might be a little, ooh, that's it. They need to be trimmed, I think. Bam, easy peasy. I'm gonna hot glue these here and here. Again, these are getting covered up, so hot glue is my number one, my go-to gal, my favorite adhesive. It's easy. Okay, so we have this, and I've attached the little crossguard pieces, but I want to make the butt, or the hilt, this is the hilt, the butt, I don't know what this part's called. I'm just going to keep calling it the butt of the sword, because there's like a little wood chunk here, and I want to add that, and then add a layer of EVA foam to kind of cover all of this that I can carve into and make look more wood-like, and I'm very excited. I'm going to use more of this foam for that, And I'm gonna do the same thing I did for the cross guards and just stack it and then carve it and see if it works. Completely unrelated, I've been seeing so many TikToks of like these creative, amazing boxes that parents are making to put Taylor Swift tickets in before they give them to their like kids. And I love those videos so much. They're so cute and fun. And just the effort is amazing. Speaking of amazing, thank you to all the people on Patreon who currently support me. It wouldn't be possible to make videos like this without you. So thank you very much. And we all know how I attached that to the sword. Hot glue, baby, 'cause it's the best. And I knew it was going to be immediately covered by EVA foam, so it didn't matter. The only thing I would change here is probably planning out the wrapping of this a little bit better, because there is a seam along the backside that's pretty visible but kind of blends into the wood texture, so it's not like a massive deal, but it could have been executed a little bit better. Same with this part, but I cut out little pieces to put on the top middle. That's not the top middle. To put on the sword, I cut out these foam pieces just to sort of make it match up a little bit more with the reference picture. It ends up not being 100% by the end of this project, but I'm still happy with how it looked, so. Welcome to My Hair Looks Weird and I Don't Care. We have to add the weird wooden pieces that go here and here. So I'm gonna try to cut them out of EVA foam and then hot glue them in and hope it works. We have these two weird little pieces and now we have to attach them. Bam! We got one of them attached. Let's get the other one. I was playing around with this earlier and I just fully snapped it in half. Like I snapped this entire thing off. It was a really good move on my part. I was having a lot of fun. Cut to me having fun. Noah, there should be a clip of me swinging the sword around that you can cut to. And I don't think I snapped it off in that clip, but just pretend that I did. Okay, cool. Now we got these little wood things. See, they don't look like wood. I'm gonna try using this wood burning tool to melt in little details, because EVA foam and XPS foam are, I believe, both like plastic based, so whatever they're made of can melt, but they also release toxic fumes, so you're supposed to wear like a mask, so we're gonna do that. And I have a bunch of little different bits, so I don't know if I'm gonna use multiple of these, but I want to make a wood texture on this and also carve in the little metal engravings you see on the reference picture. So I'm just gonna try and make it look more wood before we move on to sealing and painting. These are the two attachments I want to use for this project. I've got a mask on, see? Look. You know I had to do it to them bats. The base texture done for the bottom of the sword. You're probably not going to be able to see that little mess up when I cover it with paint, but I think this wood is pretty good. I tried to carve in some sort of like symbols. It ended up just looking bad, so I'm not going to focus a lot on this because I couldn't fix it once I'd done it. Before we paint this, we have to seal it with something, because otherwise the foam can get saturated with paint or have chemical reactions to it and melt. And you also just want a nice little coating for the paint to stick to. If you seal something properly, you can actually sand away the sealant sometimes and get a nice smoother finish, so that when your paint goes on, it looks a lot less like foam that you fucked up when you cut it, and a lot more like a professional product. What some people use to seal foam with is school glue, or if you want to be able to sand it, wood glue. This step is actually amazing with how much it changes your piece's appearance. And if you're like, I can't tell the difference, this is with the glue and not sanded, and then this is with the glue and sanded, this one little strip. So as you can see, there is a massive difference when you put in the time to just really make sure that you're cleaning up your piece. So I have a cup, my glue, and most importantly, a little goose measuring cup of water. This is a 1/4 cup of water. That's too much water. This is a 1/4 of a 1/4 cup of water. That's just enough water. We're just gonna pop that in there. I'm using a foam brush to apply the wood glue water mixture. I'm just gonna try to like get it in there and get it evenly coated over everything. I've done about 3 layers of the wood glue and water glaze sealing on this, and now I'm gonna sand it with a very, very fine sandpaper. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna get rid of any brush strokes that this might have left behind, and it's gonna leave a smooth finish that should kind of cover any of the bumps that were originally on the foam. I finished sanding this, so now it's time to paint it. I'm just using acrylic paint because I'm basic and I don't know what other paints you would use, so acrylic paint. So first off, I'm gonna be using a bunch of brown paint since this has a bunch of tree bark on it. And also a bunch of silvers for the blade and all the metal parts of this. And now finally a gold paint. This is our lovely palette of colors. I use a hairdryer with a diffuser attachment to just dry my paint because every time I try to use a heat gun, I burn something. I'm gonna use this brown as the base color so that I can go darker on top for little details and grooves and also lighter on top for highlights without having to build it up as much. Now I'm going in and stippling in a slightly darker silver color so that this doesn't look like a absolutely bright silver sword because that's not realistic at all. So this is the weathered side, and as you can see it has a lot more shadowy, textury details, and then this is the not weathered side. So I personally like this side a lot more. Yeah, I'd say this is as good as that's getting. I'm gonna test adding in a little bit of dark color over top of this, like this, and then taking a napkin and just kind of taking some of it away. That looks kind of good. I kind of like it. And just kind of adding in some little darker streaks to this wood so that it's not just a flat brown color because that's not what wood looks like. Now to make this part pop a little bit more, I'm gonna add a dark ochre color and just brush it gently on top of the little parts that stick out. So all these little lines that are sticking up, I think they would be a darker color than the lines in. So I'm just gonna brush over them with a tiny bit of paint to kind of give them some more depth. It's time to add moss to the sword. To add moss to anything, you need a cup, a stir stick, glue. I'm using white craft glue because it's easy to clean up and also it dries clear. And then moss, or whatever this craft stuff is called. I don't know, I got it in a hobby section of a craft store. Put it on there. I'm just, ooh, okay. You know, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. No, we're just gonna like, I love moss so much. It's just so fun. You put it in and then it's moss and it looks so neat. Fucking fall off. Okay, fine. Be like that. Be like that. I'm mixing you in with more glue.